2, 3 and 17 respectively.
Starts at 11th on the grid, does Fanny Rosley.
We're all just about set. It's always a nervy moment in the grid. The red lights will go off and we are underway. Round 3 of the underbone 150cc's. 𝐼𝐠𝐶𝐾 getting a nice clean getaway. No problems for him. Everybody's got away nicely in this first corner. It'll be a nice relaxing moment for everybody to say, okay, the tension's gone, now let's get on with the race. Oh, one's gone wide.
Yeah, that could be, not sure who that was, someone way back down the field, but it's Farouz at the moment who leads away as they head down that straight. You can already see them tucked in, and those slipstreaming duels already. It's, of course, number 93 that's ran off early on, and that's 𝐼𝐠𝐿𝐻𝐻 who ran off. So.
On his debut
Yes.
in underbone, so maybe taken a little bit by surprise by the tension of it all, but apart from that, everybody's got away quite nicely, and very unusually, it's a bit of a procession at the moment with Farouz leading the way.
Well, this is the most open part of this circuit, so this is where they can sort of settle down and get a breath. But from this point on, when they head into turn 4, as you can see, they're already 3 and 4 wide. And now the underbones, they might have had a bit of a break, but they're up and running, and the action starts now.
It's still 𝐼𝐠𝐶 who is leading the way. This is the first of 8 laps. There'll be plenty of jockeying for position. The final intention is to get yourself in pole position once you come into the final corner of the final lap.
𝐼𝐠𝐶 up there as well, as is Hafizah Rofa, doing a good job as they nip on the inside there. Good job. But I've got to say that 𝐼𝐠𝐶 is doing a really good job at maintaining that lead out front. And it looks like that could be Fernando Mazzato, who's joined that group as well from his qualifying position. Back, you can just see him there in 4th position, I think it is, on the Uber Racing.
He was way down in 17th, I think you've got that right. But 𝐼𝐠𝐶 who's leading the way, the green livery of the 1XOX Racing of Hafizah Rofa not far behind them, but 𝐼𝐠𝐶 takes a nice tight corner, just ease off a little bit as we come through the end of lap 1. And it will indeed be Akid Aziz who leads. 𝐼𝐠𝐶 drops down into 4th. 𝐽𝐻𝐻 has come up into 2nd. Hafizah and 𝐼𝐠𝐶 is at Saidi. Ahmed Fazli Sham, Richie Tarora, McKinley Carl Paz was in 4th, down in 8th, but less than a second separating 1 from 8.
Yeah, well, one thing we know about 𝐽𝐻𝐻 is he certainly knows how to ride around this circuit. He has, as we said, he does hold the current lap record at a 1:59. So didn't qualify well, but once again used those 2 long straights to get from that bad qualifying position and puts himself up with a chance of victory at the moment. Look at how wide the entry are to these turns as well, Des. It really does give the riders a great opportunity to slipstream up the inside.
Interesting for Akid Aziz, who was leading at the end of the first lap. He was the fastest in qualifying, but 15th fastest when they came to the Super Pole. So something clearly went a little bit all right. And not only was he fastest in qualifying, he was well fastest, half a second quicker than anybody else on the track.
Is that close enough for you, Des? Look at him now as they head back into that fast turn 4 and 5. Braking everywhere up the inside. It's too hard to call. It's one of the 1XOX machines out front, but he does run off the track there. A few of the guys off the track need to be careful. You can't do that too many times, otherwise you'll get a penalty.
1XOX really enjoying a little domination there at the front, alongside sandwiching Akid Aziz and Farouz. Coming through, bike 57 is Faizekli Sabri. He's the man just in the lead at the moment. It is all about jockeying. Alongside him, you've got Akid. The purple livery of Akid and 𝐼𝐠𝐶, easy to pick out. The green, easy to pick out as well, of the 1XOX riders.
The thing to remember about this race is it's 8 laps long, so not too many laps, so you really do need to stay near the front. If you sort of like drift back to 15th or 16th, you could find yourself in a little bit of trouble, because the way to explain these the time difference between Super Pole and the times that they do on their own, 2 seconds a lap, is because when they do Super Pole, there's no slipstream. This front group can go 2 seconds a lap quicker because of the slipstreaming speed compared to someone on their own, so you can't fall off the back of the group before you're gone.
Hafizah Rofa leading the way. 𝐽𝐻𝐻 in the yellow, the Indonesian, just being nipped in by the 2 purple-clad Akid and 𝐼𝐠𝐶. And that little group are seeming just to pull away a little bit. Not by much, but there's a little pack of 8 there, with also hanging on to the very tail is bike 179 Richie Tarora.
Bit of touchy there, bit of touchy. 3 or 4 wide once again.
Oh,
we've got a faller. Oh, how lucky is that? Not sure who that is. I didn't quite see the number. It's one of the 1XOX machines. Let's hope it's not our...
𝐅𝐢𝐠𝐡𝐭𝐞𝐫 is the man who's just drifted a little bit into the rider there and throws all the debris off the bike and gets straight back on and curses himself.
Gee, I feel so sorry for him. He was a definite front runner, you know, but it hasn't got his way at this meeting. We haven't really talked too much about him, but he's up and continuing again, so good luck to him, but I reckon that it's pretty much all over for him as far as a good position in this race.
𝐅𝐢𝐠𝐡𝐭𝐞𝐫 had a 0 points and a 9 points on race number 1. He'll have to work really hard to get back in. I'm just seeing how much time he lost as 𝐼𝐠𝐴Z𝐾 leads through with Akid Aziz. These two, here he is, he just loses the edge.
Yeah, just snipped up the inside there. He got taken out actually by, didn't quite see who that was. Looked like it could have been an Uber racing machine that took him out, but we reserve the right to that, but probably not his fault.
Yes. Well, that same team are hoping that 𝐼𝐸𝐠 can keep this lead as they come round turn 12. It's 4 abreast as they come over the line at the end of lap 3. It's 𝐼𝐸𝐠 from 𝐼𝐸𝐠 and Akid, 𝐸𝐸𝐿𝐿 4th. Mazato's made his way through, 𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐿 and 𝐟𝐮𝐥𝐥 Mohammed side. Fazli Shama, McKinley, Kyle Paz again. It's all pretty tight. 1.25 seconds between 1 and 9.
Well, McKinley, Kyle Paz, he definitely knows how to ride well and leads the championship at the moment. A win last time out in round 1 of the series. Of course, they didn't compete in round 2 in Australia, the underbones, unfortunately, but they're certainly making up for it now. It's been a while since these boys have been on track, but they're having fun out there.
𝐅𝐢𝐠𝐴Z𝐾, what a recovery that is. He only lost 13.5 seconds on everybody else. He came off, dusted himself down, got back on, and he's 13 seconds drift. It's a long way behind, but not beyond the realms of possibility. He might be able to pick up a point.
Yeah, perhaps if he works hard, he might be able to get himself back in the points. Number 98 there, out on track, 𝐬𝐧𝐝. He was up near the front earlier on in the race as well. You can see he takes that outside line, around the outside of everybody, puts himself up about 4th or 5th position there. The rev machine just out there on the right hand. He's made some good ground up by going wide there.
Talk to me about the bunching, Steve. I'm a non-competitive racer. Gosh, that looks terrifying being in the midst of that. You'd love it.
It is crazy. It's a crazy thing to be in a slipstreaming duel, and you can just see there up the inside was that Akid Aziz. I'm not sure who that was, but contact at every moment. These guys have to be pitch perfect out on that track. They've got to take their chances. It's like being in a 100-mile-an-hour traffic jam is what it's like.
And we've got a little bit of daylight at the front. I think it's 𝐼𝐸𝐠 who is still leading that way, and gosh, that's nearly half a second lead, which you don't really get, and he's being well protected. Support there coming from 𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐿. The lead in the way is 𝐼𝐸𝐠. Comes in splendid isolation into turn 12.
I wouldn't get too excited just yet. I reckon that 𝐼𝐸𝐠, although he's probably about to set one of the fastest laps in the race, that was just nearly his fastest lap of the race. Thumbs out, but thumbs up. But he's still going to try and get past that big, long start straight off of turn 1. I reckon he's going to get pulled back to the pack. Won't take long for that speeding pack behind him to pull him back, but he's doing a great job out front, doing everything he can. Going to be difficult, mate.
It was 0.8 of a second the lead, but they are closing in, Akid Aziz and 𝐸𝐿𝐿, and they have indeed closed that gap now. They're right on the back wheel of 𝐼𝐸𝐠. Might have been a tactic from him just to see if he was able to get away, and then he's swallowed up by the pack, and 1 second lead is diminished, and he drops down to 4th.
Yeah, what you need to do is you need to, the leading guys in this race almost have to work together and try and stretch the field out. If they can stretch the field out and get what you want is the least amount of guys in that lead group near the end of the race. But this racetrack just makes sensational racing. Seeing that right now, because there's like, what, 15 guys or more in that leading pack at the moment. It's incredible.
We're just beyond halfway in this underbone 150cc. It's round 3 of the Asian Road Racing Championship Series, sponsored by Idemitsu. There's another man just has to stand up tall there. I think it was Haziq Fairuz who got a little bit bunched up. This is round races 3 of the season for the underbone 150s as Warren goes into the lead for the very first time. I know he's somebody that you keep a close eye on, Warren, and with due regard as well. Man off and lying flat out on the back. I hope he's okay. The movement's good.
That's 𝐫𝐚𝐜𝐿 who's gone down there. So unfortunately for 𝐫𝐚𝐜𝐿, it's all over. Let's hope he gets himself up and cleared out of the way. But at the end of the day for him, but the action is still thick and fast up front.
Well, there is 𝐫𝐚𝐜𝐿. Stretches there very, very quickly. Looks all right as the leading riders come round. It'll be 3 laps to go, and as they go over the start line, it's 𝐼𝐸𝐻, the fastest in pole, has got himself back in front once again ahead of Hafeeza bike 28. Fazli Sham, who's been there all the while, and 𝐿𝐸𝐿, the championship leader, bike 123. He makes his first move towards the front, and 𝐿𝐸𝐿 may well be saying, setting down a mark here. I'm the championship leader, you've got to get past me.
Yeah, well, the first half of this race, Des, it's all about just trying to stay out of trouble, and that's what 𝐼𝐸𝐻 and 𝐿𝐸𝐿 have done. They've stayed out of trouble, they've kept a bit back, but now, whatever you've got, now's the time to explode. Now's the time to give it everything you've got and go for that win. And guys like 𝐿𝐸𝐿 have certainly got it if they can do it.
𝐼𝐢𝐠𝐻 Trilaxana, who we saw crash out before, hasn't been able to close any gap. He's still 13 seconds adrift in 22nd place. So nasty moment for him, but up at the front we have got in the lead 𝐼𝐸𝐻, and 𝐼𝐸𝐻 Farous is there as well. 𝐼𝐸𝐻 is bike 27, 𝐼𝐸𝐻 bike 13. It's 𝐼𝐸𝐻 who is leading the way and dragging 𝐼𝐢𝐻 with him. No, 𝐼𝐻's gone. 𝐼𝐢 Nugroho with him. And also 𝐿𝐸𝐿 makes a little move through as well. Bike 123, Warren in the yellow has dropped right back into that group as 𝐼𝐻 makes his move.
Fazli Sham's up there as well. Good to see him, and really happy to see that Warren is competitive again. But he's dropped right back, hasn't he?
Something happened there, hasn't it, to Warren? He's a long way back as 𝐼𝐸𝐻 makes a real movement. 36 is Effendi Rosley, who we focused pretty much. Effendi Rosley started 11th on the grid, 5th fastest overall in qualifying, but there's been a bit of a break there as we come into with 2 laps to go. It'll be 𝐼𝐻 Farous leading from Nugroho, 𝐼𝐸𝐻, Effendi, Richie Turreau, Warren in 6th, but that lead is 0.75 of a second for 𝐼𝐻 Farous.
You can see now, though, how as the pace of the race has gone on, it is starting to stretch out a little bit. This could be good news for 𝐼𝐻 Farous out in front. He's hoping that by the time he gets to the end of this this long main back straight here, that he's only going to have 4 or 5 bikes to contend with rather than the 20 that he's had so far. And that group is physically smaller now.
He was only 15th fastest in qualifying, 2:02.416, maybe saving something for the race itself, but we're midway through the penultimate lap here in the underbone 150cc. 𝐼𝐻 Farous of Malaysia leads the way as 𝐵𝐵𝐼𝐻 Krishna in the pits looks on glumly. And still 𝐼𝐻 leads the way, but look how quickly they're able to close on him. 𝐼𝐢 has made the move, 𝐼𝐻 has made a move, Effendi's made the move. Certainly again, a runaway leader is caught up in the group with just over 1 lap to go.
Absolutely, so tight at the moment. 𝐼𝐻 Farous has got a lot of work to do. So has 𝐿𝐸𝐿 if he wants to maintain that lead in the championship. They're all in position at the moment to strike. Number 46 out there, Fazli Sham. He's always been near the front of this race too.
He has, and Fazli Sham's an experienced campaigner. He'll be looking just to improve on a season, but he's always there or thereabouts. Fazli Sham, only 1 XOX, didn't pick any points of pole in Kuala Lumpur or in Sepang, so would like to change that one. We are coming through with the final corner of the penultimate lap, and you saw there that 𝐼𝐻 was able to squeeze through. Warren got himself back in again, a little wobble from Warren, but as they come over the line for the final time, 𝐼𝐻 from Warren, Hafeeza, 𝐼𝐢 Nugroho, Turreau, and is outside him. 𝐿𝐸𝐿 0.767 behind the championship leader.
𝐻 has got about a 3 bike length lead at the moment. We know that that's going to get eaten up by the end of this straight. But once again, he's just got to tuck in as tight as he can. Has a look over his shoulder. You don't need to do that. You know they're there.
Yeah, they've not exactly disappeared, have they? Like gone up like a magic puff. But there he is. He's caught down very quickly. 𝐼𝐠𝐸 tries to just grab his own space and goes from first to 9th, 10th.
Middle of the pack.
My word.
Certainly doesn't pay to lead onto that back straight, especially on the last lap at the moment. But is that the number 57 out there?
𝐼𝐠𝐸, that would be a real surprise if 𝐼𝐠𝐸 would come through. But Wello, he drags 𝐜𝐸𝐸 with him as they go just down the little dip. And wow, this is going to be a race to corner 12, and Bedlam will follow. Richie
Turai is up there too on the number 179 machine. Just see him diving up the inside into second position. He's in good positioning for this race now. Probably so is the number 98. I think he's in a good position too. That's 𝐿𝐳𝐷𝐸 up there in 4th position. It's going to be between these top 4 or 5 guys now as they head out through the top end of the circuit.
28 leads the way. 𝐼𝐸𝐸, he led early on in the race, then got swallowed up in the pack. Now he's come to the fore once again with half a lap to go, and a bike length of a lead of 2 or 3 bike lengths as he takes the sharp left as they go down the hill. He's being pursued by a whole posse. Included in that is Richie Turai in the black livery, and indeed Richie Turai leads everything to swallow up 𝐼𝐸𝐸.
Whoa, it's going all over the place. 𝐵𝐸𝐸 all over the place as they head into that final turn now.
And the corner is perfectly taken, and the victory is going to go at the end to Akid Aziz. He was on pole, he led 4 or 5 times and timed his run to perfection onto the final corner. Richie Turai, 𝐵𝐸𝐸, 𝐼𝐸𝐸𝐸 completing the top 5. 𝐵𝐸𝐸𝐿 in 6th.
Yeah, what a brilliant result for Akid Aziz. I mean, he really deserved that. His 𝐵𝐸𝐿 leads a championship, of course, the teammate there. It's a good race for those guys.
Certainly was. How he timed that one, because it was so condensed coming into that final corner, as we knew it would be. But he seemed to just pick the moments, pick the time, pick the line, pick the acceleration points.
It's also been a bit of an 𝐼𝐸𝐸 racing lockout this year. They've won 3 from 3 races so far. Different winners. Each one of their riders has won a race. We've had 𝐵𝐸𝐿 won the first race of the year. Then Masato won the second race, and now this. Akid Aziz not left out, gets some points on the board, a valuable 25 points. What a brilliant result for him and his Yamaha and the 𝐼𝐸𝐸 racing team. That was an exciting way to do it. He certainly had to earn it, Des. It wasn't given to him, that's for sure.
It's his 2nd podium of the season for Akid Aziz, the 𝐼𝐸𝐸 Racing, but the Maju Asia team as opposed to the 𝐼𝐸𝐸 Racing Philippines team. I'm sure there's some internal rivalry going on between the 𝐼𝐸𝐸 Racing guys. But there is the man, Akid Aziz. He was quickest in qualifying. He blew it in the Super Pole, started 15th, but timed it to absolute perfection. Let's get the confirmation. Akid Aziz on the 𝐼𝐸𝐸 Racing Yamaha wins it. 0.143 ahead of Richie Turai, who we kept talking about, did well. Yamaha 1 through 8. Team 1-for-all's 𝐵𝐸𝐸 in 3rd place. 𝐼𝐸𝐸𝐸 on the 1XOX in 5th. 𝐵𝐸𝐸𝐿, not a bad result on the Yamaha sniper for the Filipino. Less than 0.8 of a second behind. 𝐿𝐳𝐷𝐸 in 7th. Mohamed Murabil Vitoni on the Yamaha in 8th place. Wello, who was in the lead, he was there or thereabouts. He'll be frustrated, the Indonesian, to come in 9th, low down the points. Poor old Haziq Fairuz, what happened there? He was leading much of the time, ends up just in 10th place. Adib Rosli 11th with Aldi Satya 12th. 𝐼𝐸𝐸 was another who was in that leading group for a long time. Razaiman 14th, and Pirapong Luboinpeng, the Thai, completing the scoring points. 𝐸𝐸𝐸 just outside of it. Carrying on further down, Fernando Masato, 2nd place coming into this race. He ends up in 20th, out of the points. Travis Hall, 11.5 seconds off the pace. Wahyu Aji Trilaksana, he ended up 16 seconds off the pace, which, considering that he fell midway through, isn't too disappointing a result, because he still finished ahead of all of these races. Ayman Azman, Gupita Krishna, Amal Arif Musa, all crashing out. Luke Harith completing the race despite coming off but more than a minute down. But there is the race winner, and it always feels good, Steve Martin. You remember that feeling?
It's a long time ago now, but I'll tell you what, You can be happy the team are happy. What a brilliant result there. And of course, Richard Toraya, another man that's going to be happy and have a good day today and a good night and prepare for the races tomorrow. But what a brilliant underbone race it was. There was just so much going on, so many potential winners in that class. And if you do make one mistake, you can go from being a winner to out of the points. In fact, we spoke about Travis Hall, 11 seconds off the lead, 20th position. Not that far time-wise, but I'll tell you what, a lot of people in that 11 seconds.
There certainly were a lot of people in that 11. Let's talk about 𝐼𝐠𝐻𝐵, who was in that leading group for such a long time and ends up in 10th place. He must wonder what he's done wrong.
Yeah, well, it's positioning. It's basically what he's done is, you know, like he led as much as he could, but he's obviously during the race made some sort of mistake that's put him in the wrong track position. Other people have benefited from that, and he's gone back, because these races are all about the mental thinking about perhaps not trying to go as fast as you can at every point, but rather it's about trying to think, you know what, if I could just stay behind this guy and slipstream him a bit, and then continue on, but he didn't do that.
Okay, let's see if we can get some reaction. I think our intrepid reporter Wheeling is down talking to the front three.
All right, thank you. That's down here on the grid with Effendi Rosli, who picked up a 3rd place finish. Effendi, you seem to really know your way around here, Chang International Circuit, because you always find a way to step on the podium every single year.
Okay, firstly, syukur Alhamdulillah. Today, I think this race one in Thailand may be lucky for me, because from start the race, many riders fighting like crazy. So after 4 lap, 5 lap, I just relax, cool my machine, and I don't know how I can finish the number 3, because many rider very crazy and no racing line, so I just follow, and then I have a space, then I go to finish line. So syukur Alhamdulillah, thank you to my team, thank you to my sponsor One for All team, and thank you to Malaysian people and support me. Then this one this is my supporter from my Majlis Sukan PDRM call.
Okay, congratulations, Effendi. And coming in 2nd place today, picking up his first podium in the underbone class and his first podium for his team, ProLiner 549 Kabuchi Racing. Congratulations, Richard. First podium. Tell us, battling with 20 riders for 8 laps, how do you manage to finish in 2nd?
Yeah, for the rest, I'm stay focused in top group, and for finishing in last lap, I'm good feeling, and I don't know what to say, but I'm first time get podium in Asia Pro Racing Champion. Terima kasih untuk my team dan yang sponsor, family, teman, semua yang sudah mensupport. Terima kasih banyak. Semoga saya bisa berikan yang lebih baik lagi. Terima kasih.
Okay, congratulations, Richard, and picking up his first win of the 2019 season, Mama Aziz. Aki, so throughout the race, we can see that you and 𝐼𝐠𝐻𝐵 did try to run away, but obviously it's not possible because everyone was so competitive today. Tell us, how did you finish the race?
Okay, pertama sekali syukur Alhamdulillah pada bulan Ramadan yang mulia ini saya dapat champion lah. Terima kasih kepada tim saya, Umar Racing, saya punya sponsor dan saya punya family. Race kali ini memang sengit sebab ada kelompok yang banyak untuk bersaing ke depan. Tapi saya cuba buat yang terbaik untuk dapatin champion ni.
Okay, thank you, 𝐼𝐠𝐻𝐵. Congratulations, and we will wait for the podium ceremony coming up next.
As a non-racer, Steve, I'm always amazed at how cool the riders are just a few minutes after being involved in a situation like that, where they're 10 or 12 abreast coming into the final corner, finds the space, and then he's cool. I'd like to thank my sponsors, I'd like to thank my family. Yes, I'm very happy to win. How would you keep so cool?
Well, they're cool as cucumbers, aren't they? And I'll tell you what, you watch this, Des, because this will show you how they do it. Definitely, it's a question that I do not know the answer to.
𝐼𝐠𝐸 Fairouz was on pole position and got off to a good start and generally had a good race. He will be kicking himself, the fact that he only picked up points for 10th position, just the which is a frustrating end for him, because he and 𝐼𝐠𝐸, the eventual race winner, were always there or thereabouts, as was Juan Wello, as were the three XOX guys, certainly until you had the incident with 𝐼𝐠𝐸 Trilaxana.
Yeah, of course, everybody in the pit box had their fingers crossed, and they needed to be crossed, because look at the action out there on track at the moment. There were bikes absolutely everywhere. That leading pack was amazing. Then bang, Trilaxana went down. The team were impressed at that point, but he did manage to get back up and continue, which was good to see.
He did. It meant that Hafiza Rofel would take over the cudgel for one XOX, and at one stage he had a lead that was over a second, and for a moment, just a moment, I thought, heck, we might have a runaway winner in an underbone, but it doesn't happen like that in this class of racing.
No, because you forgot about that big, long back straight, didn't you, Des? And they all got him again, and unfortunately for him, that lead was gone. He did continue on though and tried as hard as he could, but Hafiza Rosa got sucked up. Then of course number 23 went down, 𝐵𝐸𝐸. Luckily for us he was okay too, but he gave it his all out on track. Of course he was being attended to there, but he will be back on track tomorrow.
And then this is coming into the final lap and a half or so, and 𝐼𝐠𝐸 makes a move there. 𝐼𝐠𝐸 looks like he's going to get away, and then he suddenly literally swallowed up. He went from 1st to 10th in the twinkling of an eye. It meant that 𝐼𝐠𝐸 was able to just begin to take a little bit of advantage. There's 𝐼𝐠𝐸 leading, going over the start finish line ahead of the final lap, but it got congested, as it always does. And then keeping your mind clear at this stage, that's the bit I really cannot fathom.
Yeah, what was the kid thinking at this point in time when he looked like he had no chance? But then into that final corner, the perfect line, he got that just right as others got it wrong. Stayed on the track, tucked in under the screen and put his hand in the air. Victory for 𝐼𝐠𝐸.
And joy in the pit lane as well. There was also an excellent result for Richard Taroa, who will move into the point standings. McKinley Kalpaz eventually coming in 6th place. Right, let's head down towards the podium, where Hui-Ling will be talking us through the winners and the prize givers.
We'll begin the podium ceremony for the under 150cc race 1. Coming in 3rd place today from Team One for All, Muhammad Afendi Rosely. And in 2nd place today from Team ProLiner 549 Kabuchi Racing Team, Richard Tarore. And today's race 1 winner from Uma Racing Yamaha Maju Moto Asia Team, Muhammad Akid Aziz. We'd also like to invite the team manager from Uma Racing Yamaha Maju Moto Asia Team to join the riders on the podium. And we will now stand for the national anthem of Malaysia.
Okay, slight technical error in terms of the national anthem. We will return to the podium as soon as we are sorted with the national anthem. That shouldn't take away at all from the performance of Akid Aziz.
We'd now like to invite Mr. Thongchai-Wongsawan, the president of FMSCT, to present the riders with their trophies. Coming in third place today from Team One for All, Malaysian rider Muhammad Afendi Rosli. In second place from Team ProLiner 549 Kabuchi Racing Team, Indonesian rider Richard Tarore. And coming in first place today from Team Uma Racing Yamaha Maju Moto Asia Team, Malaysian rider Muhammad Akid Aziz. And today's best team award in the underbone class goes to Uma Racing Yamaha Maju Moto Asia Team.
Our thanks to 𝐿𝐲 for the presentation, and also to Thongchai-Wongsawan, the president of the FMSCT, for the prize giving. There's one of the pictures that will adorn the newspapers, local and hopefully international tomorrow. Akid Aziz, fastest on qualification, wasn't on Super Pole, but came through perfectly at the end to pick up his first victory of the season, and that will be good enough to move him into third place in the overall championship standings. As we have a look, 𝐸𝐸 continues to lead. He picked up 10 points for sixth place. He's got 51 points. Afendi Rosli very happy with his third. Great interview, Afendi. 44 points for him. Akid moves up into the top three on 41 points. Behind